Dopamine, a neurotransmitter in the brain, plays a crucial role in motivation, reward, and pleasure. It's often referred to as the feel-good chemical because it's released during activities that bring us joy or satisfaction like eating, exercising, or achieving goals. For artists, dopamine is closely linked to inspiration and the drive to create. Understanding how baseline dopamine levels affect creativity and how to manipulate these levels to foster a productive addiction to drawing can be a game changer in sustaining artistic outputs. Baseline dopamine levels and artistic inspiration. Look, baseline dopamine levels refers to the steady state level of dopamine present in the brain when one is not actively engaged in any rewarding or stimulating activities. Individuals with naturally higher baseline dopamine levels tend to be more motivated, curious, and inclined to seek out new experiences. In contrast, those with lower baseline dopamine levels might struggle with motivation and may require more significant stimulation to feel the same level of reward or inspiration. For artists, the fluctuation of dopamine level can profoundly impact their creative process. High dopamine activity is often associated with heightened creativity as it encourages exploration, risk-taking, and the generation of novel ideas. When dopamine levels are elevated, an artist may feel a surge of inspiration, a strong desire to create, and a sense of satisfaction from their work. Conversely, when baseline dopamine levels are low, the artist may struggle with finding motivation, leading to creative blocks, procrastination, or even a sense of detachment from their art. Given dopamine's role is motivation and reward, understanding how to manipulate dopamine levels can help artists maintain a consistent drive to create. There are several strategies to boost dopamine and, by extension, enhance one's inspiration and addiction to drawing. Number one is to set achievable goals. Look, breaking down artistic projects into smaller, manageable tasks can lead to more frequent releases of dopamine as each goal is achieved. For example, setting daily or weekly drawing goals can provide a sense of accomplishment that keeps dopamine levels elevated. This consistent sense of progress can create a feedback loop where the artist feels more motivated to keep drawing. Number two, celebrate the small wins. Each time you complete a drawing or make progress on a project, take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate the achievement. This could be as simple as sharing your work with others or rewarding yourself with a treat. Celebrating small wins reinforces positive behavior and increases dopamine production, making you more likely to repeat the activity. Number three is to incorporate novelty and challenge. The brain releases more dopamine when it encounters something new or challenging. To keep your drawing practice engaging and stimulating, try experimenting with new techniques, styles, or subjects. The sense of discovery and challenge can keep your dopamine levels as high and maintain your interest in drawing. Number four, physical activity and healthy habits. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and a balanced diet are all known to support healthy dopamine levels. Physical activity, in particular, can significantly boost dopamine production, providing a natural way to enhance motivation and creativity. Number five is mindfulness and focus. Practices such as mindfulness can help regulate dopamine levels by reducing stress and increasing your ability to focus. When you are fully immersed in the creative process, you are more likely to experience flow, a state of heightened focus and productivity associated with optimal dopamine levels. Number six is to limit dopamine draining activities. Activities that provide instant but shallow dopamine hits like excessive social media use can deplete your dopamine reserves and reduce motivation. By limiting these activities, you can conserve your dopamine for more meaningful and rewarding tasks like drawing. Listen, dopamine plays a vital role in artistic inspiration and motivation. By understanding and manipulating your dopamine levels, you can enhance your creative drive and potentially foster a healthy addiction to drawing. Through goal setting, celebrating small victories, embracing novelty, maintaining healthy habits, and practicing mindfulness, you can keep your dopamine levels optimized, ensuring a steady flow of inspiration and a sustained passion for your art. In this way, you can harness the power of dopamine to not only improve your artistic skills, but also make drawing an integral and rewarding part of your life. Before I talk more on this, I just want to mention that I have all my art as prints and posters. If you want any of them, just click the first link in the description. Moving on, Expanding further on the relationship between dopamine levels and artistic creativity, it's crucial to delve deeper into how we can strategically manage our dopamine responses to cultivate a sustainable and fulfilling artistic practice. Understanding the delicate balance of dopamine is essential, as both excessive and deficient dopamine levels can have detrimental effects on creativity and motivation. The first thing is to avoid dopamine overload. While boosting dopamine levels can help increase motivation and creativity, there's a risk of dopamine overload, which can lead to addictive behaviors and burnout. Dopamine is not just about feeling good, it's also involved in the anticipation of rewards. When dopamine spikes excessively, particularly through artificial means like excessive social media, gaming, or other instant gratification activities, the brain's reward system can become overstimulated. This overstimulation can lead to a desensitization effect where natural sources of dopamine, like the satisfaction of completing a drawing, no longer provide the same level of pleasure or motivation. For artists, this means that while occasional boosts of dopamine can be beneficial, there needs to be a balance to avoid burnouts. The key is to maintain a steady, moderate flow of dopamine rather than seeking constant high spikes. This steady flow can be achieved through consistent, meaningful engagement with art rather than relying on external, less meaningful sources of dopamine. The second is the role of routine and habits. Look, building a routine around your drawing practice can be another effective way to regulate dopamine levels. When you establish a regular time and place for drawing, you create a habit loop that your brain begins to recognize as rewarding. Over time, simply beginning your routine can trigger dopamine releases, as your brain anticipates the satisfaction of engaging in a familiar and enjoyable activity. This habit-forming approach turns drawing into a consistent source of pleasure and motivation, making it easier to maintain long-term. However, to avoid the potential monotony that comes with routine, it's important to periodically introduce new challenges and variations into your practice. This balance between routine and novelty helps keep your dopamine levels steady, while also providing occasional spikes of excitement and satisfaction when you try something new or overcome a challenge. Third thing is to leverage the power of social connections. Another powerful way to manipulate dopamine levels is through social interactions related to your art. Sharing your work with others, whether through social media, art communities, or exhibitions, can provide a significant dopamine boost. Positive feedback and encouragement from peers or followers acts as powerful reinforcers, increasing the sense of reward and motivation. However, it's important to approach this carefully, as relying too heavily on external validation can lead to dependency and diminish the intrinsic joy of creating art. To leverage social connections in a healthy way, artists should focus on building supportive, constructive relationships with other creatives, engaging in collaborative projects, attending workshops, or participating in art critiques can provide valuable feedback and a sense of community, all of which can enhance motivation without solely depending on external approval. Fourth thing, mindful consumption of art. One often overlooked aspect of boosting dopamine is a balanced manner in the mindful consumption of other forms of art. Exposure to inspiring works of art, whether through museums, books, films, or music, can stimulate your brain's dopamine pathways and spark new ideas. This consumption should be done mindfully, allowing yourself to fully absorb and reflect on the works you encounter, rather than rushing through them. This mindful engagement not only boosts dopamine but also enriches your creative reservoir, providing fresh perspectives and insights that can fuel your own work. Our concluding point is sustainable artistic growth. Manipulating dopamine levels to foster a productive addiction to drawing is about finding a balance between stimulation and sustainability. By understanding how dopamine affects your creative motivation, you can create a system that encourages consistent, meaningful engagement with your art. This involves not only boosting dopamine through achievable goals, routine, and social interactions, but also ensuring you avoid the pitfalls of overstimulation and dependency on external rewards. By approaching your art practice with a mindful balance strategy, you can cultivate a sustainable creative process that not only enhances your skill but also keeps you inspired and motivated for the long term. Look, I'm still on the journey to become a pro artist. Let's become pros together. And if you watched up to this point, drop a 20% in the comments below.